It is great to meet you, Beth. And wow, every day must be different in your line of work, mustn't it? What do you love most about your job?
Gosh, well, as you said, I love that every day is different. I love that no 2 days are the same. I think that's something that's quite inherent with a lot of jobs in engineering, is that because you're solving problems that perhaps haven't been solved before, or because you're building something brand new that, there's no necessary instructions on how to do it and you have to work it out for yourself, that you get to, set yourself new challenges and learn new skills every single day. And it's not boring, to say the least. I would never describe my job as boring. But I also love that in my particular field of building safety critical software, that my work has a tangible positive impact on the world around me. So I'm keeping people safe as they travel by plane or by train, things that you wouldn't necessarily think about, but I know the massive impact that has. And I think that makes my job really rewarding and helps me enjoy it more.
Yeah. And it's really important, isn't it, that we find huge satisfaction in our jobs, because we do with them for a very long time, don't we? So
yeah,
it's really good to make sure we feel satisfied doing it as well. Why did you choose engineering? What made you go into engineering in the first place?
So I've always had an interest in science and maths. I did a physics with astrophysics degree. And when I went to university, I thought that's what I wanted to do forever. I was going to go get a PhD and sort of go straight down the research line. But then in my final year, I did a computational astrophysics module, which taught me how to code for the first time at the age of 21. And it opened up this whole new world of possibilities of, just with a computer, I can build so much stuff, so much different stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do before. And how could this help other people? How could this help the world? So I completely switched tact when I left university. I started looking for software engineering jobs. I wanted something where I could have an impact, whereas I thought maybe doing physics research wasn't going to have as much of a direct impact on the world. And I wanted to do something with my hands, as I learned that that's how I learn best. I learn best by doing rather than reading or listening or anything like that. And so I completely switched and went into software engineering. And I'm very grateful that I managed to find a graduate apprenticeship, which meant I could completely retrain and learn the new skills I needed to move into this profession.
And was it scary doing that?
A little at first. I think I got a bit of imposter syndrome. Everyone else at my work had all these master's degrees in engineering or lots of experience, lots of years in the industry. And I was coming in as a physics graduate who didn't really know much about coding. I'd only been doing it for 6 months or so. And I was in this room with some really clever people. So it's definitely a bit intimidating at first. But because you learn on the job, through just doing what you've been asked to do every day, you get better at coding, you get better at learning how to think for yourself and innovate. So it definitely got less scary over time, and now I'm quite a confident engineer who's able to train others and promote engineering to other people.
Yeah, well, you're not only a competent engineer, I mean, you are a difference maker, and it's so important, I think, that we do shine a light on difference makers. Do you realize you're a difference maker?
Sometimes I think it's not necessarily something I think about, in my day-to-day job. I just think that I'm doing what I've been asked to do and I always give it my best, but I don't necessarily see that as better than anyone else in my job. But I do notice it when I'm doing other things outside of work. So I'm also a Cub Scout leader in Bath. And with my Cubs, I like to do the scientist badge, the digital maker badge, things that are kind of a bit relevant to my job so I can tell them more about science and engineering. And it's when I teach it to them that I kind of see the impact I'm having on them. I'm teaching them things that they're not learning in school. I'm showing the girls in my pack that actually there are women engineers out there like me, and you could grow up to be like me. And the engineering isn't just wearing hard hats. It's, I do things on a computer and they never thought about engineering on a computer.
Yeah.
And so it's with the shocked faces and all the questions they ask me that I realise that I am having an impact on the next generation and people around me. So that's really cool.
That is really cool, yeah. And what do you say to sort of the Cubs and other young people you talk to if they are sort of thinking about a career in STEM or thinking about finding out more about STEM?
I definitely tell them that STEM is for everyone. They still are under sort of the belief that you need to go do a specific degree in a specific field and you have to be really clever. They all think engineers are really the smartest people in the whole world. And granted, some of them are, but you don't need to have an IQ of 300 to be an engineer. You just need to be able to work hard and think in a way that's slightly different, and you can do it. And I also like to tell them that engineering isn't boring. A lot of people sometimes think, oh, it's not for me. I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to be building bridges or even coding. But it's actually, you know, as an engineer, I'm doing things that keep people safe, or I'm doing something exciting and new. And so trying to give them a new perspective on engineering.
And it's fun as well, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's a serious side, of course, and, you know, you're changing the world literally, but it's massively fun as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of fun. I think a lot of people always talk about, you know, using Lego and things when they're a kid, and how that is always seen as a fun activity, but actually can be seen as sort of a start of engineering for a lot of people, building things for fun that you can enjoy, that you can customize, and it's completely your own. And, you know, that's really awesome that you can own something that you've made.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there any sort of difference makers that really inspired you, either in your job or when you were growing up?
Definitely. My mum is probably my biggest inspiration and the biggest difference maker in my life. She never has worked in a STEM career, and I was the first person in my family to go to universities, but she always, you know, nurtured my love for science and maths, encouraged me when I was having days where I might be bullied at school for wanting to be a scientist. She wouldn't let that get me down, and she'd always push me and be there for me. And she's just been a role model in her work ethic, and teaching me that there's no obstacle that can't be overcome. It doesn't matter what life throws at you. If you want something, you just go get it, and you don't stop until you've gotten it. And I don't think I'd be where I am, you know, venturing out into a brand new profession after spending 4 years doing a degree, which I know a lot of people will think that's a bit of a waste. Why did I bother going if I'm just going to go do an apprenticeship? But when I told her that's what I wanted to do, she said, go for it. If that's what's going to make you happy, you can make a difference to the world any way you choose. I know you will. And so if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, and that support, I think, is really important, isn't it? From parents, from teachers, from carers, etc. But yeah, it is a really important part of it. Do you, in your job, do you get the chance to go out? I know you do a lot with the Cubs as well, but do you go out into schools and talk about sort of your career and engineering there as well?
Yeah, I do. So obviously not at the moment, not been into any schools recently, but before COVID and the lockdown, I was helping at local digital festivals. So in Bath, there's the Bath Digital Festival, where I went and helped lead a stall about my work, where we were showcasing some of our VR work, where we use virtual reality to train Airbus engineers in how to build gearboxes. And it was an application of VR that a lot of children hadn't seen before. They generally associate it with video games, not with, oh, you can use VR at work. And that made them think that the world of engineering was really cool, really sort of with the times, using the newest technology to do something different. And that was really great. I'm also a member of the WISE Young Professionals Board with work as well. So I use that role to campaign for more gender diversity and gender equality in STEM industries. And so through that role, I've been speaking at lots of webinars this year to, gosh, lots of audiences, from primary school girls to mums and daughters to people in East Africa, pretty much anyone that will let me talk to them, I've been talking to through work and through WISE, just about engineering and about how it really is for anyone, and trying to push that point to as many people as I can.
And do you think we're winning with that?
Yes, I like to think so. I'm a positive person, so I like to think we are. I think we definitely are making a difference. You know, statistics show that there's more women and more people from minority groups in STEM now more than ever, which is incredible. I think I can't say we've won. We're definitely not where we want to be. There's a lot of progress to be made. But I think by having more people join the fight in the cause of diversity and equality, that is showing that we're on the winning team.
Well, you are an absolute inspiration and a huge difference maker. Thank you so much, Beth. Many congratulations becoming a YWE finalist, and best of luck. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.